You're making a big mistake to always look for comfort, because comfort is the evil of everything. Comfort is not good. Looking for the easy way out is not good. You see, we got to go and confront kind of resistance, and it's like Nietzsche said, that what does not kill you will make you stronger. And this is exactly what it is. If we can overcome kind of like all those obstacles, then we get strong. And we can endure much more, and we look at the world totally differently, and we don't whine about every little thing.
Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same mistakes. You must take this knowledge that you learn from all this shit is knowledge. So I'm just trying to give people that strength to go in the archives of your life, because while you're probably up, it's probably something happened to you in your life. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself.
Too many of you guys waste way too much time worried about what's going on with other people. And yeah, I understand it can make you jealous. And yeah, I understand it can piss you off. And yeah, I can understand that it ain't fair. But guess what? Life is not fair. And you all worry about this like it is. You're expecting something that will never be. It will never be fair. It will never, ever, 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 ever be fair. Ever. Now what? Are you going to sit on the sideline and cry about how it's not fair? Or are you going to say, well, it's not fair. It's my job to be undeniably great at what I do, because if I'm undeniably great at what I do, then it doesn't really matter if they recognize me here, because they'll recognize me in other places if that's what I need to do as well.
What would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward. But if you set up a goal that you think is, just on the edge of conceivability, then every time you move even a tiny bit towards that, you're gonna think, good work, man, good work. You get a little kick from that. Yeah. You get a little stronger from that.
Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Yeah. That's reality. And dude, this is something that people just can't get through their head. They want everything to be fair. It is not ever going to be fair, ever. There are going to be people that are better looking than you. There are going to be people that have better genetics than you. There are going to be people that are smarter than you. They're going to have people that have more money than you, or grew up in a better family, or have more advantages, or have more opportunities. So what? Okay, it's your job to assess where are you, and then take the action to get where you want to go, regardless of where you start, regardless of where someone else starts. And so many people tell themselves this ridiculous story about all these advantages that other people have, when in reality, a lot of times these people didn't even have those advantages. So it becomes a self-victimizing story that people tell.
Men grow kind from pain. Mm-hmm. I think that the worst men on earth are the ones who haven't had enough pain. Those are the arrogant pieces of shit people. You're supposed to suffer as a man. You're born to suffer. The whole reason God put men on this planet is to fucking suffer. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most. I wouldn't be top G if I didn't suffer more than anyone else. You're a better man than everyone else if your life was a mess and it was a hardship, because you're not what happens to you. You are how you react to it. And the best men on earth are men who have had their parents die, their best friends betray them, their girl betray them, thrown in jail, their money stolen, stabbed, robbed. And every time something happened to them, they sat there and they looked in the mirror and said, what can I learn from this? How can I stop this happening? Those are the best men. Those are the men respect. Those are the men women want. Why do women love scars? Look, they tried to kill him and they can't. That's why I want him. The best men suffered. You find a man who's never been through suffering, and nobody gives a shit about him. Men don't like him and women don't like him. Men are no good without it.
I say that madness and genius are next door neighbors and they borrow each other's sugar.
This is true.
You have to be like literally fucking up almost every other part of your life to achieve real greatness.
Yeah.
Because you gotta abandon personal relationships. You gotta be totally unbalanced, completely obsessed and focused upon your goal.
Anything lost could be found again except for time wasted. And my favorite motivational quote was by Inky Johnson. He said, When you work hard for something, you develop a different type of attachment to it. And a person will have a cold day in hell before they try to take it from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat. Every man must search his own soul.
If you can pay your bills,
take care
you
of
can
your
get a
family.
haircut, take care of your family, go on a nice trip, you're happy, you made a good choice, you got the right people in your life, you won.
That's right.
That's success. We give people with the most money like they're the most knowledgeable, not thinking they probably was at the right place at the right time. But it's not about money. It's about character.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now. The main point is to find something that you are not standing still where you are right now. At least prepare yourself slowly, step by step, to get out of that hole right now.
You always have a choice to make. My thing is, I don't have time to be angry. You know how much time it takes to hold an attitude and a grudge? That's time and energy. I don't have that time. The time that it takes you to go, I don't like that person, and keep that in you over a period of time, that's a lot of time that can be devoted to something positive.
Now, I often tell people too, fix the things you repeat every day, because people tend to think of those as trivial, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you have your breakfast, you have your routines that you go through every day. Well, those probably constitute 50% of your life. And people think, well, they're mundane, I don't need to pay attention to them. It's like, no, that's exactly wrong. The things you do every day, those are the most important things you do.
Bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way, you weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult.
I always knew the answer to everything is raw action.
Yeah.
The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. And he used to say this. I'll give you an example. If you're a farmer and you need rain for your crop and there's no rain, you can sit there and say there's no rain, we're all gonna starve. Or you can stand up and do a rain dance. Now, will your rain dance work? Perhaps not. Perhaps the rain won't come. But I would argue that you're better off standing up doing that rain dance than just sitting there waiting to die. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor, what do I do? It was, I'm poor, I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Dunno. Where can I get some cash? Dunno. What work can I do? Dunno. I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for a 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die.
No one is born with self-confidence. Zero. Right? Every single one of us, our self-confidence was determined by how we were raised, the parents we had, the teachers we had, the bosses we've had, the jobs we've had. And so if somebody's insecure, we have to over and over and over again prove to them, because we don't know where they came from. We don't know what kind of trouble they got in before, for being honest, right? Or how they were raised. We don't know. And so we have to have total empathy and just prove to them that if they make a mistake, they're gonna get helped, not hurt. They're gonna get supported, not yelled at.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but All you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful.
You gotta be willing to do the work. You can speak about it all day. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important? What we acquire or who we become, right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial, it's cool. But the people that we become, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's gonna travel with us forever.
It's not fucking fair. So how do I make it as fair as possible for me? Well, you make it as fair as possible for you by being great at what you do. And that takes you not looking at them, but looking at what it is that you do, how good you actually are, and making the adjustments to be great from the position that you are currently in.
We think we are so fucking important, and we are not. Enjoy your time you got here.
I'm trying.
Have fun, be happy, stop fighting with everybody. Just fucking enjoy yourself for the, like he said, the very small amount of time you got left.
You realize we're all f***ed up. Stop judging yourself against other f***ed up people who have hidden it better than you. That's all they've done. They've masked their shit better than you have, and now they're flipping it back on you and saying you're f***ed up. I want you to realize that this world, life, is one big head game. And once you learn to play the motherfucking head game, it's no longer a game anymore at all.
Everyone thinks you're crazy until it works. And so, I mean, if you think of the outcome as the trump card, then all of the pain and suffering that you lead up to that point, if you're just that no matter what, you will die or you will get there, then the likelihood that all of the things that you've done up to that point will then be justified in retrospect is super high. You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you rooting for you.
I tell kids all the time, if you even have this much savage in you, everything out there right now is for the taking. If you are willing to go out there and grind and work hard, you know, you got these people that don't want to go to work, they want to stay home and work from home and all that. There's going to be a small group of hungry savages out there that are going to run every one of you over, and you can sit home and you can cry and complain about how you didn't get yours and it's because this person had this opportunity that you didn't have. Everything out there is for the taking.
More emotion that was involved in it than there was mine. Every single one of them. Think about it. Really was. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up. Every single day, your mind is one that tells you, get up. And your feelings like, an extra 30 minutes, just roll it. Don't worry about it. And your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Listen, it's not the popular decision. You are gonna hurt, you are gonna piss a lot of people off. Yep. All right? Are you gonna piss them off for the short term, or are you gonna piss them off for the long term?
My mom used to say this to me, and I had to really think about this. And she used to tell me all the time, if we all threw our problems in a pile, I guarantee you would take your shit back and run. Yeah. So let that sit in for a little bit. Think about it.
We follow the same heart, we follow the same hustle, but sometimes things are different. And you just gotta just master whatever it is you're doing. Take a few losses that come with the game, as long as you finish on top. That's the only thing that counts.